Hollow peeps.
Well, there's nobody there yet. Just gotta send out the notification that we're live and then people show up. See, that doesn't look straight, but I pulled out the level and made sure it was before I hit record.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
I think it's an optical illusion because the bookshelf looks like it's like, you know? Because of the angle. Instead of straight, the bookshelf looks angled. It's just because
makes me look tall and big.
Your eyes are angled.
What?
So, I mean, why you gotta bring up things that people are self-conscious about? That's not cool, James.
We should talk about his thumbnail scar.
No, you're not.
What if I said something like, your hats make you look nerdy? How would that make you feel, bro? I'm just playing. My eyes aren't crooked. You don't want to get on camera?
Those came from this box.
Are those Girl Scout cookies?
No.
Give
They are.
now.
Are they Thin Mints? What
We
are
have
they?
had a
successfully
contest.
avoided our dealers.
And these one.
They
Really?
taste better than the Girl Scout cookies?
$1.50 versus $5.
I mean, Girl Scout cookies are just a legal form of child labor, so.
I would say
Are
that.
these,
Some
are
of
these
these people
only?
might have Girl Scout. What?
Are these only Girl
That's
Scout?
only Girl Scout because we like the other one's better.
Okay, I just want one. She gave them to me. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. That's it for your wife. No, you don't like this? Okay, never mind.
They're Thin Mints. They're mints. No.
I like it.
I like the peanut butter ones.
No, I can't really.
That's about it.
I'm just kidding. Y'all can have some of the good cookies.
You're not gonna give them to Heather? What is with you? It's so weird.
No, you just pick him up and you toss him on his head.
Who's
Okay. Hello, world. Hello, world.
Right? I look huge. Why do I look so big?
It's forced perspective. Look how big Greg's head looks.
That looks very small.
Because you're looking through a box.
Oh, jeez.
Dang it. I already have one. Just now.
Why are you giving these to me?
Wasted a Thin Mint.
So you can pass them back to your mom? Or
Greg.
Survive.
Clean the floor.
The floors were clean today.
I really wanted to go in there.
You guys want a
You
cookie?
like right in the nose.
It almost did. Like, it hit the box. How'd you go blind? Well,
that's an accident.
one of my friends, who's also my best friend's wife, had a box like this and she threw a cookie in my eye.
Well,
What?
Cookie.
I had LASIK surgery. Oh my god, LASIK surgery made you go blind? No. LASIK surgery was fine. Several years later, my friend's wife threw a cookie at me.
I also
You
love.
would, that would be how he would tell the story. You'd have to go all the way
Yeah.
back.
I also love the fact that she didn't open them
Cookies!
Yes,
with the pull tab.
There's pizza and there's wings.
Are there still wings?
There's two in here. I closed it.
Here, these are your
They're
two
buffalo. Wild buffalo.
How wild are they though?
Never caged.
wings. I can't have buffalo. Bad for the gout.
Cage-free buffalo.
Cage free. No antibiotics.
Non-GMO.
That's why they had to remove the wings, because they're cage free.
Wasn't sure what pizzas you would eat either. But all those are yours, whatever you'll eat of it.
Okay. I'm
That's
not
all.
that hungry, but thank you.
That's all they got left was those four.
Okay.
Those 4 little pieces.
There's soda somewhere?
No.
In the tin can.
And the trough.
Oh. You know, I work around those all day, and in my head, I'm supposed to avoid those.
Oh.
Hi, Houston.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? You don't sound.
No.
There's a transcription if you didn't have a chance to listen to it. Oh, you did? Nice.
I had to make sure which one it was.
Yeah. Season 2, episode 61, right? That's when you listen to?
Tithing. Give
Right.
to Caesar's what is Caesar.
Right. Give to Caesar what is Caesar, and give to God's what is God's.
I mean,
So I don't
apparently a bunch of knives belong to Caesar. It's not that Caesar. Never mind.
That would be Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
That's what I thought when I first heard
And
it.
they gave it to him good.
I was like, wait a second.
And two brute.
So this one wouldn't let me put as the background for the art a Caesar salad.
He did. He made it a Caesar salad.
He made the art with a Caesar salad as the background for the art. I was like, no, Mr. Greg, no.
Well,
Sound is really distracting.
Yes, please stop.
so let me just move that away for you
Try to change it to some coins.
before you get smacked.
And then we debuted a new logo this week for the Berean Manifesto. It never had its own logo before.
I thought you had that last week.
Well, I put it on the transcription last week, but it wasn't out there last week, out in the world. So now the Berean Manifesto has its own logo.
Yay!
Yay! I changed the names of the Ecclesian House social media properties to Berean Manifesto
Okay.
because that's our online outreach arm, you know.
Uh-huh.
Except Ecclesian, Facebook wouldn't let me change it.
YouTube still says Ecclesian House.
Oh, did I forget to change it too? Okay, so Facebook wouldn't let me change it.
At all.
They said it violated
Their privacy standards.
their whatever because
community standards.
it's basically like a bait and switch. You build up an audience under one name and then change the name and change the content, and so they wouldn't let me do it. And so I replied and I said, Berean Manifesto has always been, you know, part of the Ecclesian House. It's one of our aliases and registered with the IRS. Da, 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 da. And I said, okay, well, if you can show us in the minutes of your board meeting that you were going to use that, if you can show us a letter on an official letterhead, somehow you've gotten your body smack dab in the middle of the camera again instead of over where you were when we set up the camera angles. Okay, then you can change it. Or if you just want to make an announcement on the page after we see you send us a link to the announcement, then we'll let you change it. And I was like, wouldn't changing the name be enough of an announcement that we've changed the name? I mean, literally, when we changed the name, Facebook would send down an announcement to everyone that likes it. Ecclesian House has changed their name to the Berean Manifesto. Like, that's pretty. That's an announcement. You take care of that for us.
That's dumb.
Well,
Another
they
reason
well,
you never see me on Facebook.
well. To be fair to Facebook,
To
they
be
have,
fair,
they have been under
your
some,
mama says don't move your head, Greg.
They've been under some legal issues.
She's an investor and watch on Facebook, I guess.
with frustrations from users. So
Oh yeah, people build up an audience and sell their page off, and the name changes and the content changes, and there's companies out there that you can hire to host content on your Facebook pages for you. Yeah, ran into some trouble with that with the Acquire the Fire page
yeah,
a while back. They posted some stuff on a ministry page that shouldn't have been posted, and
I remember that.
that was quite the fight to get that back into our control.
I do remember that. I thought it was funny. Other people did not think it was funny.
No. No. All right, so this week's podcast was about tithing.
yes. I don't agree with it.
Let's get into that. let's analyze
Here you go. John's playing devil's advocate.
you not agreeing with tithing.
Yeah. I don't think we should give any money to organizations. We should keep all our money to ourselves.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Makes sense.
Nothing to back up.
No.
Did we forget to swear him in before we started the broadcast?
You forgot to make. You
Because
forgot.
he's just sitting here lying like.
I know.
You
Yeah.
forgot. You forgot to tell
Yeah.
me to put my truth hat on before we started, so I decided.
You
to
forgot
lie.
to tell me it was under oath.
Right.
No, of course. I think it's a very important thing that I've done in most stages of my life ever since I was little. Most of the time. There have been times I haven't, but it's been rare. And mostly accidental, because we got paid on Friday.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna go and pay his tithe to the
If he
Ecclesian
remembers.
house
Yeah.
I don't.
while we're live streaming.
This is why I don't like doing it this way.
What about now, Connie? Can you hear me now? Was it just because he was mumbling?
Remember.
It reminds me of that character on the Muppets.
Big hairy.
And you have no idea what it's saying.
The Swedish chef?
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
Oh.
There are times I get it from my father. He
Yeah, but you're nothing like
he mumbles
Thank
quite
you.
efficiently. What's wrong? Is it not coming through?
I'm not sure the microphone even is plugged in at the moment.
You just gotta text.
It looks plugged in.
That's probably notification that Noom's paid his tithe.
What are you talking about? I don't do things like that.
There we go.
I can hear it just fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, Connie just has bad ears.
Old.
Except when
Her-
you're sitting
Her computer's muted.
Oh yeah. Is your computer muted?
She can't hear you.
Is it plugged in? Try turning it off and on again.
She says, I can hear you, but it's very faint and my volume is up for everything else. We'll turn it up for this too then.
Where did cookies go?
They're right
Right
there.
now.
Do you need
It looks like an empty bag right here.
Because they're
seriously.
black.
No, it's like shiny.
What? Don't be racist about it.
We totally forgot to swear him in before the live stream.
They're
Bunch of
black.
No
cookies.
lying and no racist comments.
They're black cookies.
I can't see
hate all of
them. You can't see them because they're black.
No, because
The light's on though.
But it's not dark in here.
But we got white lights.
He owns those too.
I do own those too.
I'm trying to help you not be racist.
Alright. So last night, I'm coming home from work, from driving for Uber and Lyft.
Uh-oh. Is this a racist story?
No.
Okay.
I stopped at Buc-ee's because I had to use the restroom. And when you have to use the restroom, you're passing by Buc-ee's.
Makes the
You'd
most sense.
be a fool not to stop at Buc-ee's and use the world's cleanest restrooms.
And buy a barbecue sandwich while you're there.
No, I don't do that anymore.
No.
Too expensive. So I stop and I use the restroom and I'm gonna pick up some snacks. My wife wants a candy bar. I'm gonna get her a candy bar and then I'm gonna get her and the son a candy bar for in the morning. Get them some drinks for in the morning. Get myself a Dr. Pepper.
Neither of which were the candy bar I asked.
Right, she asked for a Kit Kat, so I went to the shelf and I got her a Kit Kat and I checked out and I came home and I gave her Kit Kat and it was a Twix. And I looked at it and I went, I swear that was a Kit Kat. Alright, so I check out at Barnes & Noble, Buc-ee's, and I go out and I get in the car and I back out and I'm pulling around the building and I see some people coming up in the crosswalk and so I stop because it's a crosswalk. And as I stop, I see this silver van back out of a parking spot, just, 2 or 3 parking spots down from where I am. So I'm going this way. The silver van backs out this way. So now they're pointed, like this. The people go to walk, and they get out from in front of me, and I go to move forward. And this silver van whips to its left, and I have to slam on my brakes not to hit this silver van. And I think, that jerk just cut... That jerk is my father-in-law Brian and my mother-in-law Connie.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
And Mimi's watching.
I know. That's why I'm telling the story.
Yep. And then he texted me and said, "When did your mom leave the house?" A long time ago.
That's okay. I had my cousin-in-law hit my aunt
Stop.
before he married my cousin in a car. Hit her motorcycle in a parking lot.
When we were dating.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, when we were dating, Connie backed into my car.
That could have been on purpose.
that was on purpose.
No. No. I backed into. Well, I can't say I backed into this person, but I scratched up our car yesterday or Friday or whatever day it was. It was a really long flatbed truck, and I went to turn, and I turned a little too sharp.
That's okay. Tina hit the thing that doesn't move.
I had a sinus infection and was driving to the doctor.
That's your mistake. You know Uber and Lyft is a thing, right?
I know
Yeah,
how
expensive
expensive they are.
We,
You should know.
Yeah. So you just hit the you.
we barely had enough to get to the doctor.
So now you got to pay for fixing your car because you wanted
Yeah.
to drive half drunk on medications.
No, she wasn't on medication.
I wasn't on it yet.
Don't call on Houston. He's not allowed to speak in
I
Spanish
just
anymore.
was like,
What's up,
I think
Houston?
I have a sinus infection.
I can help fix your car.
No, you can't
No,
because it's
you
a
can't.
lease.
You're
I
not
can't.
a Nissan certified.
You don't have to do that. If it's just body damage, it's easy to fix without that.
Oh, it's not just
It's
body
not.
damage.
Okay, then never mind.
Rip the plastic piece off the side that actually has the.
Swipe that hole.
That's that. The
Yeah.
you do.
So like when you hear the noise, you're supposed to stop, not slam on the gas.
I
Make it worse.
didn't.
Did I tell you about the one time?
She's like, "What's that noise? I must be cut."
One time I got in a car.
I get off of it.
There were no other cars involved. And when I went to stop, I hit the gas.
You talking about when you ran into that pole?
I did that.
Total
I
that
ripped
Jeep
my bumper off
With
my
the
car.
kids in the car.
Yeah.
I don't know
I
how I
did
didn't
that.
mess up my motorcycle, but
When I was learning to drive stick in our house, so like the drive was on a hill. So it's a car garage, and I bent the
you
garage
missed
door,
it.
so I lunged forward and hit it.
Yep.
There's this guy that lives across the way that's got a chopper, and every time he gets on it, I'm just like,
Aww.
Every time the neighbor's boyfriend rides his bike over, I'm like,
yeah.
Sometimes the girls hear it and they're like, "Did James get his bike? Is he here?" No, guys.
I miss James just
Other
driving with his
people
bike
are
and parking it in the
Bikes
driveway.
in the park. It's like, we'll know when James gets another bike.
Yeah.
So when we had our blue van, only one of the sliding doors would open because I was changing the brakes one time, and I got air up in the brakes, and then I was trying to turn the van around and pull it up into the garage at a different angle, and I slammed on the brakes, and the brakes didn't work, and we clipped the center piece of my mother's garage and crushed the handle, and so then only one of the sliding doors would open. But we don't have that anymore. It got
You're not
stolen by
even
the
sitting
police.
straight.
I can't sit. She's uncomfortable.
You know how when you park a car on the side of the road, you're supposed to have 24 hours? They towed it after 5.
Wow.
While our tow truck was on the way to get it, their tow truck came and went.
That's messed up.
Of course, it's going to be at least $500 to get it out of impound.
It was more than
It was-
what
it
the
was bad.
Car's worth.
what the dump was gonna, not the dump, what do you call it?
Yeah, they wanted more to get it out than the junk people would give
Pay
us
for
to
it.
take it. And I was like, and it needs a new $3,000 engine because she blew a rod.
Oh, God.
And I was like, this is just a complete wash. I called him and I was like,
You can
keep it.
Yeah.
Just keep it.
You have fun with that.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, we're just going to sell it at auction. And I was like, good luck with that.
Yeah.
They'll sell it to a junkyard
Mm-hmm.
for less than what they want.
All right, so tithing.
I don't agree.
Okay. So pay your taxes. That's really the only note I wrote on here.
I don't agree with that.
Make sure you're paying your taxes.
That's tyranny.
It's not tyranny.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's not tyranny.
Taxation without representation
You have
is the reason we
representation.
fought England.
You have representation.
Nobody in that circle of idiots represents me.
Bill agrees.
With what?
No, it doesn't work right. People vote, and then these people vote however the heck they want, no matter how these people voted.
The popular vote and who ends up in office don't mean it ain't the same. Luckily, it worked in our favor this time, and we didn't end up with Hillary Clinton, not
Hillary.
Hillary for prison. Hillary Clinton. It would have sucked. Benghazi, sorry. Things you don't like to hear. I'm gonna end up dead soon.
Somebody wound Houston up. Get
I
off
said her
the
name.
soapbox and let's rein
said her
this
name.
back in.
I said her name on the internet. I'm gonna end up
Good gravy.
My name's not Jeffrey or Epstein, but if I hang myself tonight, you'll know it wasn't real.
Okay.
You don't seem like the hanging type to me.
No, definitely not. I'm
Let's
going
talk
down
about
in a blaze of
something
glory.
Let's talk about Kobe Bryant.
And his daughter.
Why?
His oldest daughter was with him.
So depressing.
Is she an adult?
No.
No.
That's what's depressing about the story.
Yeah.
I mean, the crazy thing is he's been flying helicopter for a long time. Like
Was
it's
he
his,
flying or was he just
No, he's just.
passenger?
But he uses the helicopter to get back and forth places. It's a common mode of transportation for him because it's faster than the traffic in LA. But
Donkey back would be faster than traffic in LA.
So I don't think my mother heard your story.
No? She did say the volume was very faint. I'm an adult. I can make bad decisions. Get your hand out of the cookie package.
Okay.
You got caught with your hand in the cookie bag.
I was.
Good. Now you must lick it.
Now you get the floor cookie.
Floor
10-second roll.
I already ate a floor cookie.
Where we grew up, it'd be okay. If we survived that childhood, we should be fine.
I think it's part of the problem nowadays.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, she's texting me about it not working, so I don't think she heard your story.
You need to tell it again when she
Reboot
can
your
hear you.
computer.
Or turn the volume up.
I'll tell her you said reboot.
I can't hear it. Is it plugged in?
Did you unplug it?
I can see it. I just can't hear it. James, you got anything to contribute? Questions, answers,
You're on the
wisdom.
spot. Produce something.
So what happens if I don't give my 10%?
You will not be blessed.
Before Jesus, you'd be cursed.
After Jesus.
After Jesus, not a dadgum thing. But there are benefits that
I've
you
lived
would
all over
get
that.
if you do tithe.
Are you touching my bones?
But as far as consequence for not tithing,
Bones.
nothing. All right, good talk.
Also, shouldn't see your father naked. He might curse you.
That's not what that means, but okay.
Do
And
what?
I did see
What
your
about
questions.
Grandpa?
I
You
did
guys
see
want to
your
talk about
questions.
that? We can talk about that.
No, let's not. Never.
It was in the Bible. I was reading it today or yesterday.
That phrase, to see your father's nakedness?
He saw his nakedness.
No. A father's nakedness is his wife.
It
The
said
word
he was
is...
drunk and he removed his clothing and he laid down and his son saw him naked.
Yeah.
No.
His son
Saw his nakedness.
saw his naked... That means
Well, but then the brothers
The
came
son-
in and covered him up.
went in and did some stuff with his mother
No, because that's the rest of the story says the other he went and told his brothers and the brothers came in and covered him.
covered their father's nakedness.
It's not the father they covered.
Huh.
That's the difference between connotation and diction.
Ooh.
What it actually
Culturally,
means,
this story is much darker
Much
Yeah.
more drama.
and much more drama.
Okay.
We're talking
I didn't
Arkansas
realize
trailer
that
park
either.
stuff right there.
And the
I didn't
word...
realize that either.
I was
That's
telling
a
earlier, I was like, I
completely
meant to
different
comment on that
story.
on the
Yeah,
thing and I
like-
didn't get to.
That's a
Like,
completely different.
That's a different
From,
story.
from our culture's point of
I
view,
was like, why is he crazy?
that makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
When you understand the context of culture and what they're actually saying, that makes all kinds of sense why he was cursed.
She is his property, that's why it's his nakedness.
Uh-huh.
Why don't they just say
Okay,
they saw the wife?
no. Saw as in the biblical sense of saw.
like the biblical sense of no.
Like, he went in and knew her.
Okay.
Like Adam and Eve kind of knew.
Fine.
They were all
We got
drunk.
that now.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why you don't party in Arkansas.
Or apparently Mount Ararat. Arkansas. I saw a video this week where the guy busted in and he goes, "We don't sleep with our cousins in Arkansas. We sleep with our sisters." That was the whole video.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Oh
I saw one. It said.
So entertaining.
It said, my bisexual boyfriend's mad at me because I slept with his brother. I don't understand why. He slept with his brother first. It's like, what is going on in this TikTok?
Why are things getting so weird?
You brought it to us.
You find some deep, dark places in TikTok I've never been to.
I have found some dark places in TikTok. As soon as you start following furries, you can find some stuff.
You'll go places.
Most of my TikToks are people like remaking popular sounds into worship songs, or complaining that they're Catholic and nobody thinks they're a Christian, or trying to defend the Church of Latter-day Saints because nobody thinks they're Christians. That's what most of my TikToks are.
Most of my TikToks are like,
Mine are. I'm a butt.
What?
I don't even share. I share a lot more with Rox than I do with you.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll be like, Rox Tina. Rox Tina.
Yeah, I'll do. Roxanne, Nooms, Tina. I don't want him to know I've seen that.
And then sometimes it'll be just Gerald because.
What is TikTok?
Don't worry
Oh
about it.
We
goodness.
talked about this last time, and,
It's
and
the,
you decided it
Vines.
was just Vine.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
funny.
understand now.
Which is actually they've actually released a new app or something someone
that
has
is
called
basically Vine.
Bite, which is actually a Vine replacement. But
yeah.
and a bunch of people are leaving TikTok for it, but
That's stupid.
it's only 6 seconds.
I like TikTok.
So what Vine was originally supposed to be, just small loops. So tithing.
What is wrong? That was so gross. Please
Yeah, I know.
Don't
He's
do
been
that
doing just
again.
gross things with his bones the whole night.
No bones about it, bro. You gross.
What is wrong with you?
The flavor from the chicken was still on the bones.
Y'all gotta get him out of Decatur.
I've seen him do other disgusting things all night with them.
Y'all got to get him out of Decatur.
No wonder he was trying to suck my bones earlier.
I have no idea
He's
what
got a
you just
fetish
said.
for bones, okay?
No, don't go there.
That's called necromancy.
Well, can we... What do you call what he just did?
All right.
Eating. I don't know.
You're not that poor, honey.
Yeah. You
It
poor.
tasted good.
You ain't that
We're poor. We ain't po. That's
There's a
po,
I
bro.
mean, that's government cheese poor.
Been
You
there.
can at least pour
I
crabs.
mean, technically, we're getting government cheese.
No, we're getting over the counter cheese. This is being paid for by the government.
Here's the difference.
Yeah, you're right.
Now, when I was a kid, we'd go to
Go to the
some
place,
food
yeah.
pantries, and they'd actually give you the
Yeah.
government cheese.
Yeah.
Which you could smack somebody with like a brick.
And you go to slice that and put it in your mouth, and you're like, I need that. I need to like melt that on some bread and dip it in some. That might actually be a good thing to do.
And then you sit there with a blowtorch trying to melt that stuff.
Right. I truly believe that's where the grilled cheese sandwich came from. Somebody trying to make government cheese edible.
That's why fried bologna's a thing.
Fried bologna is
It's fried
God's
bologna.
gift to breakfast.
Fried bologna is better than regular bologna because it's at least cooked.
You think regular bologna's raw?
No, but it's gross.
Now with a little mustard on a biscuit.
But it has a first and a last. Okay, don't go all saw blade on us.
I don't have a lawnmower blade.
A little mustard on a biscuit.
It's good.
Cheese
Fried
and
bologna, some mustard on top of that,
Call it
and a
nachos.
biscuit. It's delicious.
Is your mother still trying to get her audio to work?
Yeah, she says she thinks it's working on the computer now, but it's lagging.
It's not lagging, she's just old.
No, it lags.
Life lags.
Right before your eyes. Just like the sands of
What were
time.
we watching the other day? Oh, we were watching Teen Wolf. And
The show or the movie?
the movie, the first one. And I have had this catchphrase my whole life. I didn't know where it came from. And it was my advice to Joseph when he turned 12. And I didn't know where it came from. And then we turned on Teen Wolf, and Michael J. Fox's character's best friend is wearing a t-shirt with it on it. Life sucks and then you die. Yeah. And I was like, well, that's where I got that from. Okay.
You also had another shirt that said,
I had a bumper sticker that had that and something else on it.
Nice bitch, then she leaves your ass.
I had a bumper sticker that said,
F it, then get high.
I had one that said, vote Antichrist, Obama 08.
he did.
Oh wait, I had that one too.
I had one that said Hillary for president.
I made a whole 100 of them, was giving them out.
We had, when I worked at Taco Casa, I had a regular, and he had Obama on the back of his thing, and it said one big essence.
America. Yeah.
Oh man.
I've seen that one. I hearted that one on Facebook.
There's food in front of me. I just keep eating it.
Well, at least you're not doing what Junior over there was
I
doing.
don't know what I did. What did I do that
Chicken
was so
bones.
gross?
It reminded me of my great-grandmother who lived through the Great Depression.
The bone tasted good.
He's part Rottweiler. Leave him alone.
You are...
No! No!
You suck.
I need to lie down.
I need to go lie down.
Are we not on Twitch tonight? Because nobody from Twitch has gotten on.
We have one viewer according to it.
Huh. Normally we have lots of people commenting from Twitch so far.
Normally.
It might be a slow night.
Huh?
Back away from the camera while you do that.
Well, am I blowing this too loud for the camera?
Probably.
Oh my gosh. I fell. Now what?
He's playing.
Suck, Sarah, help.
Oh, something's going on up there.
Oh my gosh, you're so strong.
Droga. Tomorrow. At a time.
Beep 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 beep. Boop, boop.
What was that?
Sometimes children.
I haven't played COD in over a week.
I'm just fighting words.
What?
I haven't played Modern Warfare in over
I
a
didn't
week.
say you were just like your mother. I said,
Well, I've been getting. When I get off work, I
You're
go
a
work
woman.
out. And by the time I get home,
Your dad already told you no.
your last
Then
name
he
was
gave me a
Bledsoe at
cookie.
one time.
and then I started watching that
That's
Sabrina.
his first.
You're related to
So
Joseph.
I'm hooked.
Not
doing the third one yet?
completely.
Not on purpose.
I'm on the first part.
Show me part one. We just started the third
I'm
part
on the
this
last. I'm on the last episode of the first part.
Daddy said to keep my hand out of the
Yeah.
bag. So if I
He was
can
talking
pour a
about last
cookie
week.
out of the bag and get it off the
Serious.
table, that's technically not going against what he said.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show. It's an interesting show.
What's
Yeah.
a good show?
The Ranch season 8.
The Ranch season 8.
Like that action picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now what were you really talking about?
The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
We didn't even finish the first
We finished
What
like
they call
2
it?
episodes.
chapter section.
Part, I think is what
Part?
they're called.
Part. Yeah. There's.
Well, it's the new thing that they don't call stuff seasons anymore because it doesn't make sense because they're not.
Yeah,
seasons.
they're not seasons.
The whole thing about season was you had a fall season, you had a spring season, you had a
Yeah.
winter season, you had a summer season.
Now it's
Well,
not
there's
season.
no seasons. It's just here.
Here's your first set of 8 episodes.
Here.
I mean, they should call them chapters because
Here.
that's what they are. A season of a TV show is a chapter of a book.
Yeah.
So we did the Disney Plus 1 week trial
Yeah.
this last week, and we watched The Mandalorian all in one go.
So
Yeah.
cute.
So stupid.
Still haven't watched
Yoda
it.
is so cute.
It's worth it.
Did you say it's
I enjoyed
stupid?
it.
So stupid.
I liked it.
I loved
Stupidest thing that's come out of Star Wars since I was born.
it. It was great.
Oh, that was good.
I thought it was good.
It was worse than Episode 1. It was worse than Episode 3.
Episode 3 is new.
It was worse
No.
than Episode 2. Episode 2 is the one where it's got 2 leading ladies, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was worse than Episode 2.
Yeah, that was horrible.
And by 2 leading ladies, we mean
The same person playing 2 different roles.
Anakin Skywalker and his love interest.
Patrick.
Yeah.
Nobody liked that one.
Nobody liked that one. It was just bad. It was bad.
Is that the one with Jar Jar?
No,
No, that was one.
that's the first three.
Anything to do with
I mean,
Jar
it
Jar?
had Jar Jar in it, but
Actually,
it wasn't
there's
his
some
main
pretty good
I
theories.
was quite
with Jar Jar.
entertained by Jar Jar.
character. I like Jar Jar.
In
So,
the Lego Star Wars games, he can jump the highest.
so there's a theory. There's a fan theory that he's actually a Sith.
Well, did his ears give him lift?
No, that he was a Sith,
Like
and that's
Dumbo?
why he was able to like walk through that scene,
Uh-huh.
Not
And-
getting shot.
not get shot, and his whole purpose was he was sent to cause chaos and make their jobs harder.
His Force style is called Drunken Master.
Drunken Monkey. That's actually a kung
Yeah.
fu.
And so there are a lot of people who swear that he is a Sith Lord, and
The Drunken Monkey Sith. I get it.
because he did something atrocious to his civilization,
Big
and they
cup of
kicked him
That
out.
makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
And
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
What, is it actually Baby Yoda? Or is it just...
No,
Well,
I
it's
think
not-
No, it's
the
the
child.
It's not Yoda.
No, it's not Yoda. It's just a baby of that species.
At this point, Yoda is 700 years old, so it's not a Yoda.
well, at that point, Yoda's dead
Yeah.
because it's 50 years after whatchamacallit.
It's 30 years after A New Hope.
Yes.
Either way.
Either way, Yoda's dead.
But Yoda never really died.
Yeah, he did.
He moved on.
Right, but they don't. Reincarnation is not a thing in that universe.
Okay.
But being a Force ghost is.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, that's why reincarnation isn't a thing.
No, because they don't take on new bodies. They just take on new.
They're holograms.
Because of you?
Yep, I laughed the exact same way. I heard my own laugh and went, ooh. Gregory does the same thing.
You saw? I thought you had Disney Plus and you had seen The Mandalorian.
I haven't seen The Mandalorian.
You told me last week I needed to watch The Mandalorian.
That was me.
It was him.
Oh,
It was-
okay.
I told you if you had only a week, you might as well.
Now, what did you think about The Mandalorian?
I liked it.
You liked
Did
it.
we finish it all in one day?
Yeah.
Or did we do 2 days?
No.
I think it was 2 days.
Gloria bought us a year of it for the girls.
And I've been watching
Because it's
X-Men.
for the girls.
Oh,
Animated series.
but the trial ends tomorrow.
I need to cancel it tonight so they don't charge us tomorrow for a month. Because it's not worth
That's what I
paying
just
for.
hear it. I just hear it all
Not
the way.
really. I mean, unless you want to watch every one of the Avengers movies
The-
back to back.
The girls watched all 3 cartoon Aladdin movies today.
There's 3 of them.
Huh?
Yeah.
There's more than I thought.
There's
All
Aladdin, then there's The Return of
Return of
Jafar, and then there's
Prince of Thieves.
King of Thieves.
King of Thieves.
King of Thieves.
I thought there
And then
was
there was
Aladdin
the
and then
series.
the new
thought-
Aladdin
Well,
with
there's
Will Smith.
there's Aladdin the cartoon,
that
and
too.
then there's Return of Jafar, and then there's the cartoon series,
Yes.
and then there's
Yes.
I
King
thought
of
we were going
Thieves.
to watch Toy Story 4 because it came up on Disney Plus and it said Toy Story 4. But it was just a trailer.
And some of the stuff on there it's coming on this point. And the reason is because right now another hosting site has the rights. So until they're done, they can't port it over. But if you notice, you'll stop seeing all Disney stuff anywhere else for that reason.
Yeah, like Netflix has lost a lot of the Disney
well, you'll still
movies
see
they used to
Disney
do.
stuff on Hulu because they bought Hulu. So.
Oh yeah.
You'll see less of it because they want you to go to it.
I really hope.
And they
Gravity
only own
Falls
part of
stays
it.
on
They
Hulu.
don't own the full thing.
Gravity
Part of
Falls
it?
is on several things.
Who?
Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls.
It's a cartoon.
It's a
great
really fun cartoon.
It's a great
It's
cartoon.
amazing. It's my
great.
favorite show.
I don't know.
It's from the same guys as one of the guys is the same guy as Rick as Morty.
Dry,
It's a great story disguised as a crappy cartoon.
Yeah, it's a really good it's a
Like if it
good
came out
story.
as like a straight sci-fi story, it would be a New York Times bestseller within
Yeah.
a day.
Oh, okay.
But then they veil it in this cartoon about these 2 little kids
stupid
that go to
humor.
spend the summer with their great uncle.
Yeah.
Their grunkle. Their great uncle.
Grunkle.
The
Their
girls
grunkle.
love it, and they have the book.
Grunkle
and, like,
Stan.
the
Wait,
host,
Gregory
like,
has the
they
book.
have all the stuff
Yeah,
in it.
I have
They
the
love it.
journal.
Yeah, so does
Three?
Scully.
Number 3?
Really?
Yeah, it's number 3.
I have a recreation of the journal the main character has.
Okay.
I don't think you had to say recreation. We were talking about a cartoon.
Yeah. I wanted to
We don't
anyway.
have the actual journal from the
Every time I watch
cartoon.
Yeah, actual cartoon.
Almost every time I watch a show, he has to go get his journal.
Yeah, I'm like, oh hey.
He looks it up and he's like, "Oh, I see what. They didn't put this in the show."
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there that,
Oh, that makes a lot of
isn't in the
sense.
show.
Which Zoe is really upset if they don't recreate the other two.
Yeah.
It would tell more story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, baby, they probably never wrote those.
Yeah.
They didn't have to. They only show them twice, and it's literally like one picture.
I don't know. The guy who was the showrunner for that, he probably has
Oh, he
them
does.
written somewhere.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people have thrown a fit and said it says it needs
He's
to
probably
come back.
sitting on them thinking, as soon as my
We
mailbox money starts decreasing, I'm
We
gonna
need
release
them
these
kids
suckers.
to go back home for a couple of years and come back as like 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
A couple of years, come back as 18.
Yeah, they were 13
5 years
at the
old.
end. They turned 13 at the end of the show. I mean.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't see enough content on Disney Plus to justify the $7 a month. If it was $2 a month, oh yeah, there's definitely enough content for that.
Well, there's also a way to pair it with your Hulu.
But they came out with that the day after we paid for Hulu.
Yeah,
Get it cheaper.
It doesn't actually change the price of your Disney Plus. It changes the price of your Hulu.
Ah.
Yeah.
Like I said, my mom bought us a year, so we have it.
It's pretty cool.
I like it.
Yeah, you bundle
I watched
Hulu
The
plus
Sound of Music the
ESPN
other
Plus and Disney Plus together for $12.99.
I don't
Whereas
need
if you
ESPN.
bought all that separate, it would be $17.99.
ESPN's
You save $5.
Yeah.
I hadn't,
ESPN's stupid.
I hadn't actually watched the whole movie since I was a kid, and I really enjoyed it.
What?
The Sound of Music. I know it's weird. I'm okay with it. I enjoy that movie.
The old one?
Huh?
The old one?
There's a new one?
Yeah. Came out last Christmas.
What? I don't know what you're talking
No,
about.
Sound of Music. Never mind. It's the only other one. I get them mixed up. Be nice.
Because it's going
Sorry.
to hurt you someday.
About what?
None of us feel great on this side of the table, and I think it's made conversation even harder than normal.
It's made it weirder.
No, the chicken bone incident made everything weird.
Yeah.
Like it's never gonna get up to that point again. It's just gonna be weird from then on.
13-year-olds sucking on the bones in the middle of the service.
All right.
At least he
Well,
wasn't chewing through it.
next week when we get together, we will either be talking about truth or have no live stream and be watching the Super Bowl commercials.
Okay.
Nobody's probably
So-
even gonna watch the live stream if the Super Bowl's going.
Next Sunday's the Super Bowl?
Next Sunday's the Super Bowl.
There's people that
Who's in
live
the
stream
Super
for
Bowl?
other
That's why it's
countries
either.
that don't.
At least we're all in the same boat.
But we like watching it. I don't know. It's
The
fun.
commercials.
I won't be here.
Your mother, I don't know, you said you were going to go talk to a lawyer? Sue
Or at
Pizza
least-
Hut for
at
asking you to
least
work on a
talking-
Sunday?
Yeah.
Crystal. You
Yeah.
need to at least talk to Crystal.
Your mother says there was a new Sound of Music with Carrie Underwood, wasn't there?
What?
Did
Oh
she?
yeah, it was the live version. Nobody
No,
liked
thank you.
it.
Did you see the live Little Mermaid thing?
Oh.
That was stupid.
I saw the live rent and was extremely disappointed.
I saw the newer, whatchamacallit, with what's her name, and I liked it.
Beauty and the Beast?
What?
No. The.
Mary Poppins.
I didn't like that.
Was it a live event on TV or just a
Yeah.
live action movie?
No, live event on TV.
would be.
And they're from Transylvania.
Hotel Transylvania?
No.
Wicked?
Dracula?
Vampirina?
Adam's Family.
My favorite.
The Monsters?
Awesome!
The Transvestites from Transylvania.
The Transvestites?
Oh,
Rocky Horror
Rocky.
Picture Show.
And the newer one, they actually did decent.
I didn't see that.
It's never gonna be as good as the original.
It's not, but they had, what's his name? The name just jumped out of my head. He was the narrator.
A lot of things to jump out of your head.
The guy who was, Doctor
Okay.
was the narrator.
Okay. How old is he now?
He's
They
older.
jump ship because
Coon's
they get
age.
scared of what's inside.
You said it jumped.
Vampirina.
I am home.
Fuck.
You want me to go to my room?
No, you're fine. Stay there.
Okay, so I heard this.
You're not my mother. You
Then
can't
I heard
tell me
y'all.
to do that.
Then I heard her. And that was weirdly out.
Whoa!
I said, go home.
First
And
off,
she said, I am home.
first off, this isn't the Bible. Second,
That story has turned you.
It's not Mount Ararat.
Or Arkansas.
She didn't go to college in Arkansas.
this is not Mount Ararat. Ararat. He is not Lot. She is not one of his daughters. Oh, you guys haven't gotten to that part yet, have you?
No.
I am. I did not complete any of my readings this week.
No?
Let's be
I got
honest.
everything but today.
I
Well,
read part of today.
I was so sick. I literally slept from Wednesday night to this morning.
Baby. What is that face?
I don't know. I just started
He's
making
staring at them
faces.
chicken
I'm
bones
gonna
again.
stop looking at you.
He's staring at the
He's
chicken.
over there like, I can smell that marrow.
I need that marrow. He needs it now.
Them wings was marrow licking good.
It tasted like chicken, okay?
He needs a nutcracker so he can get to the marrow.
But it's buffalo.
So he doesn't have to chew it.
It still tastes like chicken.
It's not buffalo.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
It's
Totally.
not wings either.
I totally know.
Well, what he had wasn't.
There was a couple wings there.
He had legs.
Connie says, what are you reading? What's who reading?
Cankles.
No, the Bible app has like the plans you can go through. Now you can sync up with other people, and if you make any notes, you can see each other's notes on the thing that you read that day. That's what we did.
Now that she can actually hear, why don't you tell your story again, Daddy?
No, I'm good.
No, she said she heard the story.
Oh,
She
okay.
didn't have any other comments though.
Oh, okay. No comments about. Yeah.
Next time, one more pizza and more of those wings.
I don't think you need to do another pizza, but more wings would be good.
I think we did. We only have one piece left. And we're short a person.
Well, shorter person.
He's short anyway.
Who are you pointing at?
If you get another pizza, it's gonna be leftovers.
Here, he's pointing at you. Or rather, he's pointing in between us.
We all know who he's talking about.
Teeny weeny.
Suck on your
Itsy
chicken.
bitsy. Show him your head.
What did you do?
You didn't see it when you came in?
No, I didn't. What did you do that for?
I'm thinking about enlisting in the Air Force.
Please don't do that.
Where would you suggest he go?
Are you trying to get into Space Force?
My grandpa made that joke.
They have a commanding general of the Space Force now.
Yeah.
And
it's an official branch of the military now.
And a camouflage outfit.
Who are they trying to hide from?
No, you can't
In
use
space.
They're like multicam. It's not gonna work on the moon.
Someone goes, wouldn't it be better if it was just black?
She could just white.
No.
No, because space, just black.
Yeah,
But like, what are we doing? Invading Endor? Any of the known planets, not a single one of them
Has life.
has camo, has trees.
Has anything.
That's funny.
We're fighting on ships, if anything, and camo doesn't work on a ship.
It's gotta be, just silver, like tubes.
You should just dress them like the Navy.
No. I was thinking more like, And does anyone notice what the emblem of Space Force looks like?
That's her comment.
The Starship
Space.
Enterprise.
About what?
Is it really?
The A.
Oh.
About what?
About
It's
your
a,
story.
it's a, it's
Oh.
like it's made to look
Of
like a
course it is.
spaceship. But
Okay then.
it looks a lot like the Star Trek
Of course it does.
Federation.
That's funny.
As it
To
should.
the point where the writers and owners of the copyrights for Star Trek are actually trying to file suit against the Space Force for stealing their
You can't. You can't. They're not making money off the emblem. They're not making money. It's not a copyright infringement if you're not making money. They can try, but that's not going to hold up in court. That's stupid.
Yeah, it's also stupid to take Star Trek symbol and put Space Force underneath it and make it not Star Trek anymore. It's It's the exact symbol. Just says Space Force.
They should just steal all their symbols from Stargate. They wouldn't care. They'd be like, cool!
Stargate SG-1.
Raising awareness of Stargate.
Yeah.
They can't because it's actually a thing.
Yeah.
Stargate?
Yeah. They gotta use one that's actually.
Deniability.
We can take a step away from. They've already released all that.
Wait till the USS
Oh wow, it
Enterprise
really
comes out.
is.
Our first spaceship.
Why do we need a space force unless they found
Yeah,
aliens?
it hardcore does.
But why would we need a military for the space?
They don't.
I mean, it's not exact, but it's
They made it just different
pretty
enough.
close. It's 30% different.
30%.
It only has to be 30%.
It only has to be 30% for it to hold up against copyright. So I mean,
I want this, but make it legal.
All it really does is make it look like
they couldn't come up
somebody
with anything else.
with profit powers brought us Star Trek, and that's really what the world's going to look like in 300 years.
With the USS
That means a World War III is coming pretty...
U.S. Service
No,
Space.
we'll all be dead by then.
U.S. Space Service ship.
What?
Huh?
U.S. SS.
In
Enterprise.
Star Trek, when did World War III on Earth happen?
We got like 20 years.
Yeah, no, we got like 6.
Really?
World War III in
Mid-21st century, over 600 million people died.
is 2026.
2026 to 2053, yeah?
Yeah.
No, so we won't all be dead by then.
I will.
Nuclear cataclysm, genocide, and eco-terrorism.
How long is it after that
I
before
will.
Zephyr Cochrane has his first warp flight?
I've still got 10 years. They can recall me. I don't want to do this game anymore. I've already
War
been
started
to
because
Iran
genetic
once. They don't
manipulation
like
and
us.
human
They shoot
genome enhancement.
tank rounds at us.
Hi.
You have a nice flat head. buddy.
What the heck happened here?
You were welcome. How are you doing, sweetheart?
I enjoy clicking these things like super cringy posts for the bored and the brave.
Those guys.
Have you seen the uniforms? The uniform ranks are very, very similar to Star Trek.
I mean, why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
But like he said, maybe it legitimately is someone who.
I was like, hey, I'm a part owner of this. We can use, if we do this, this, and this, it'll look good enough we don't have to pay for it.
Well, not no. What he said was the fact that maybe it's a prophet just being like, hey, you know. Little do we know that was actually almost based on this, not vice versa.
Yeah.
Some crazier things have happened.
I just don't want to go back to Iran. I've been there once.
They're not going to re-enlist you. You are 50% disabled. Been dead 11 times. Your glasses are thicker than the bottom of my can, and somehow still translucent.
How much further are you gonna go?
You ugly. You sound funny.
I know, but it doesn't matter. When you get out, they have 10 years. If instead of a
Technically-
draft, you were pulled back in.
Really?
Technically, he's more likely than James is to get
50%
drafted.
disabled?
Yeah. They put him at a desk job
Because he's still
or over a
he's
group of
still
people.
mobile.
Mm-mm. Oh, you go back right to your MOS.
Yeah,
If
but
you were not 100% disabled, you go back to your primary MOS.
yeah, right up until when you lose your other leg, and then they'll
Yeah, exactly. I'm only one landmine away from a desk job. That's all how I see it.
Because we all know they ain't going to kill you for
No.
long.
Ah, my leg! Oh yes, it's the bad one! I get a new one! Yay, I can be the same height again! Instead of having 2 inches shorter.
She used to be out there on the battlefield like, anybody
anyone
see my
watching
left
on
ear?
Is it just Connie on Facebook?
It's, I don't know. It says there's 2. Does anybody see my left ear? Somebody say, dude, you were dead. Go look in the pot.
We just kind of scraped everything.
Here's my
up.
left ear. Oh, wrong color. No, here's my left ear.
Is it burnt? Oh, nope, that one's actually black.
That one's not mine. That's not my ear. That's someone else's ear.
So we gotta hope he's not watching. But
Yeah.
Biggs is actually 3 inches shorter. because of his losing all the stuff in his legs and needing the double knee replacement. He's actually my dad.
Oh.
He's lost 6. So like
My dad.
he's only
Not his dad.
How can it be the same dad?
he's only 2.5 inches taller than me now instead of 5.5. So it's kind of like,
That's funny.
what's up?
It's 'cause he's getting old.
I'm growing. You're not.
Well, no, it's it's bone on bone.
Yeah.
So all the cartilage is gone in his knees, so he's shrunk. Plus he's old.
Not as old as you, but no. We had this conversation in the car earlier about him being old.
You're only old on the inside. On the outside, you're still very youthful.
You got that going for you.
We pulled up to Walmart and I stopped at the door and I was like, "You want to go in and I'll park?" No. Well, there's a cart right there. You could ride the cart. No. I brought my cane. You want my cane? Shut up.
I will hit you with your own.
Because he was
car.
talking about, oh, I'm so old and tired on the way to Walmart.
Damn, just tired.
Every time we go to Walmart, I want to just get one of the carts to be one of those people that are like, that dude can walk. I could walk, but this leg's shorter than the other one because it got blown off. How about you learn to be nice?
I use the motorized cart
My
sometimes.
wife was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, my leg hurts. I want to ride the cart. And everybody was staring at me like,
Yeah.
what is this like little kid riding a cart? I'm not a kid.
I got 2 bad knees and a bad hip. I have to use the cart sometimes.
You want to see my knee?
So in my 20s, it was common for me to use a wheelchair.
Oh, yeah.
I was in so much pain. You're gonna ask her. We'd get a wheelchair to go around the mall.
I'm not looking forward to go back to the VA in July. They want to talk about knee replacement.
Of course they do.
I'm 35. I'll have to have it again when I'm 50.
Yep.
I don't want this.
The one to do Biggs is he's 56.
Knee and hip.
Ooh.
They told me they could do laparoscopic surgery on my knees to clean up the tearing around the cartilage where
They've already
I'm
done that.
bone on bone. And they said, but it wouldn't help. You'd be in just as much pain and you'd still need a cane.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, then what would be the point?
Uh-huh. Oh, we can put a hole in you.
Just because we can do it. What would be the point?
Make money off you.
It's not going to help. Why do it?
Because we can. Ah, sparkles!
So you need to do that because we
So I've just got these. I don't have no cartilage, but I got big holes in my cartilage where the bone sticks through and
This is not the
Rubs
knee you
each
want to
other.
replace.
So here's an interesting question.
Steven wants to know which manifesto is this. It's the Berean Manifesto, except, you know, when we fellowship, we don't necessarily
stay on top of it.
manifesto.
It's not the
Like
one.
Matt Weiler?
Yeah, Steven knows
Okay.
on Facebook.
So here's a question about
A
tithing.
question about tithing now that we're 5 minutes from the end.
Yeah. So, do you believe in tithing on only profits or tithing on income?
So, if you're running your own business, your income is after expenses. So that would be income, not profit.
No, income is anything that comes in the door.
No, income is what belongs to you. If it hits the bank account and then you have to pay your business expenses before you can get access to the money, what you get access to is your increase.
That's your increase. Yes.
Yes, that's your income.
Okay, so you have a job, and what comes into your home, you
Accounting
have to pay bills
income
for
is
your
income.
home.
Accounting, it's different than what you're saying. Accounting, anything that comes in the doors is income.
Okay, so yeah, but you said profit
Right. Versus income.
versus income. Profit
Right.
is after you've paid expenses.
Right.
Right. So you tithe off of the profit because that's what your personal increase was. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you tithe pre-tax or post-tax?
I don't pay tax.
I'm asking as a general, what do you believe?
Whatever
Gotcha.
ends up in your pocket. So whatever ends up in your bank account is your increase, right?
No. The federal tax system was set up to be a voluntary system that you were supposed to save up and pay at the end of the year. And then they made it a mandatory system to help fund Vietnam War. And still called it a voluntary system and allowed employers to withhold the money and pay it for you, because that way more people would pay their taxes. So under the way the system is actually written, you're supposed to be tithing pre-tax,
Okay.
and then you're supposed to be paying your taxes on under what's left over
Okay.
after you pay your tithe. But
So you're
that's all between you and God.
So
We're splitting hairs. I mean,
So in
Yeah.
a sense, your tax return would be considered what you would give back to.
So,
Sure.
like for me, I go pre-tax. So I tithe off of my income. And then at when I get my income tax return, I don't tithe on that because
You already
what he's
tithed
getting
on
back is what he paid too much in taxes.
to the government, I already paid that money
But he already tithed on all of the income that
on the income.
that came in.
Now,
my situation is
it's
completely different
Completely different.
because we're below the poverty line and we have 4 kids.
Yeah.
So we have a negative tax rate, right? So last year we literally paid negative 165% taxes. So we tithe when we get our income tax check back too, because we're actually getting more money back than what we sent to the government. We're
But
actually
again-
getting an increase.
Splitting hairs due to the fact that
Everybody's different.
everybody's different and it's really the heart behind it more than anything else.
Somebody
I
asked a question on
think that-
Facebook last month or so, and they said, is it okay to pay your tithe with a credit card that gives rewards? So like I pay my tithe and I'm getting a cashback kickback on the amount that I'm paying the church. Okay?
It's kind of.
I mean, did you do this because it's getting kicked back?
Yes.
Or,
Alright, so here's my answer.
give extra.
You're stealing from the church. Okay?
That would be considered stealing.
That's considered stealing. And this is why. When you get a cash kickback from a credit card, it's because they're charging the processor. The processor is charging the person receiving the money more to process in order to cover the kickback. So that processor is literally taking money from the church to give to you to give you your kickback. So you're paying your tithe, and then the processor is taking part of that tithe away from the church to give back to you. So you're actually stealing from the church by using that rewards credit card to pay your tithe.
Way to be a Sadducee.
Now, if you're just using a card to pay tithe, there's a processing fee. The church has to pay a processing fee. And we did the math, and we saved hundreds of dollars, $300 and some a year, if we would give via Venmo instead of using a credit card processor when we process donations.
I was wondering if I had Venmo app, and now I remember.
Yeah.
That's why.
And so it's like $300 a year that's a big deal. You know, that's not pennies. That's a lot of money.
It pays for half of our entire outreach that we
Yeah.
do.
Well, I mean, like for me, I set it up where it just does it, like whatever amount.
Yeah.
Because I have a certain amount because no matter what I make, this is what I'm going to do. So it's supposed to do that, and if it hasn't been, let me know because I will send a very nasty email to Venmo again.
Well, I got one thing came through for you.
This is as long as I've had it because we had that discussion and you told
Last
me to
week.
use Venmo. Yeah. Because I asked you how to do it.
Gotcha.
Because I don't get cash. And
So you mean moving forward?
Yes.
Yeah, I get paid on. I'm very, very bad with things. She handles all the things, and I go to work. And then I come home and things are handled. And then things don't get handled and we have discussions and then I go back to work. And then I come home and she handles everything
Or I get sick and nothing gets
Yeah.
handled.
and then I get sick and even the things that were semi being handled aren't getting handled and we're all screwed because that one's sick and all the adults are sick and one of the kids are sick and then the other kid's and the whole house is and that whole can of Lysol's been used in 3 days just to keep this house clean enough to have people here. So if anything smelled lemony, I literally sprayed it into the air conditioner and on all the vents. Like,
Tithing, where you've gone off to.
sorry.
It's not even a money show. This is it's the
So I don't
I-5
handle
in California.
things. And so when we made that decision, when it was like, okay, hey, this will save this amount of money to use Venmo instead of the payment processor. The payment processor did it automatically. I never had to worry about it. So now I have to mentally go, oh yeah, and do it. And I hate it. But it's something, it saves the church money. Why is he fussy?
I don't know.
You want to go to Mr. James? He's bald like you are. Show him, Mr. James.
Show him.
Look, he's got as much hair as you have.
There's a little bit of carrots in there.
Hey,
He
if
wants
you
here.
want-
Give this crust.
If you want,
It's got
no.
buffalo sauce.
If you want in the top cabinet
Okay.
on the right of the right,
What?
you can get him a flour tortilla.
That's alright. He's been
All right.
snacking since we got here.
Okay.
He wants it 'cause it's
So any more questions about the nitty gritty of tithing?
I figured I'd just bombard the end
Right.
because it was a question. So I just,
Don't use a rewards credit card.
unless your regular debit card is, and you're not doing anything extra, and in that, then you should probably get that also.
Well, you should you should definitely tithe off of that increase. Yeah. Like I have a rewards, my Uber debit, Visa debit card, whatever, is a rewards debit Visa. So I use it and I get a little, 50 cents, 10 cents. And I have to add those up and then tithe off of those too, because that's increase. Right. But that was a pain in the butt to go through my bank statements and go, plus 0.50, plus 0.35, plus 0.45, plus 0.90, plus, in order to tell the IRS how much I made this year.
Yeah.
Dude, why don't you export to Excel and drop it in?
I don't think GoBank has that option.
I bet you it does.
I bet you it does. Almost every big account does nowadays.
GoBank is special.
It's usually like
Yeah.
down. It's usually right where you're like at the very top of your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's
But
usually like
your
a search.
account, when you expand your account, it shows you how much you've taken out and how much you've charged at this place and that. There's a little thing at the top.
What are
like
you
even
doing?
maybe Fed has it where I can hit export and it'll go to Excel or a PDF document. Why are you looking at him like that?
Well, I mean, look at his face.
That's not very nice.
Finnick is looking at the camera because
He
he
was
loves
looking at him.
screens.
But a minute ago, he was looking at him.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
Right.
he started, if I get a phone call, when he's anywhere near me, he starts yelling, like he wants to talk on the phone.
So any other tithing questions?
He'd be like you, Daddy. One arm on the
Tithe
table,
off
one
of
arm
your
back.
profit because your profit is your increase. If you're running your own business. I know a lot of business people that their business also tithes. So they tithe off of what comes in, and then they pay the expenses, and then they pay themselves and their employees, and then they tithe personally off of what they paid themselves. I mean, that's not really something laid out in the Bible, but it's not really a bad idea either. I
I
mean,
mean, doesn't the Bible say do it, this big, one goat?
So I have a friend. We started a business, and our goal was to do 20% of the income would go to charities, 10% to a Christian charity, and 10% of a charity of his choice at that time for similar reasons. But
You joked me.
yeah, maybe not. So.
can't tithe anything if you never mind the money.
Yeah. But that
Oh,
was-
I hit low power mode.
Oh no.
That's okay. Just say goodbye.
Yeah, we're done. So, you guys go listen to the new podcast about truth. Truth. It's about truth. Go learn about truth. And truth it up this week. And have a good weekend.
Say bye bye.
Until next time.
Bye bye, peeps.
Everybody point at the camera.
Bye bye, peeps.
Don't block the camera with your finger, Roxanne.
Press,
Okay, push the red button.
press the button.